In January of 1996, just weeks after the theatrical release of her second film, Waiting to Excel, multi-platinum songstress and actress Whitney Houston began filming her third film, a remake of the 1947 film The Bishop's Wife, which was based on a 1928 novel. The plot of the film concerns a pastor, his church's dire financial constraints, his vocally gifted wife whom he neglects, and, well, an angel. The film, which was co-produced by Denzel Washington's Monday Lane Entertainment, and the role of Julia, the pastor's wife, was written with Whitney in mind. Due to the film's religious themes, Houston recorded a full-fledged gospel album which fulfilled a lifelong wish.
Gospel is a very hard-edged kind of music. You know, you gotta sing gospel. You can't be singing. You have to sing.
When nobody wants to listen, put a lean on.
You do a movie, you're not on your own schedule. You have to be on somebody else's time, and that's pretty difficult for me at first. You know, that 6 o'clock in the morning stuff.
I do know He's the rock of my salvation. The Lord is strong.
When you have a group of people together, coming together and praising His name, it's a feeling that's indescribable.
When the earth on the road, sinking straight, oh Christ on the shall not stand.
Just as she began filming the movie under the direction of Penny Marshall, she also recorded the soundtrack. Recording mainly took place in New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, with Mervyn Warren of the gospel group Take Six assisting Whitney in producing the bulk of the album. The tracks featuring the Georgia Mass Choir, I Go to the Rock, I Love the Lord, Hold On, Help Is on the Way, Joy, and He's All Over Me all made up the traditional gospel records. There was a star-studded track entitled Somebody Bigger Than You and Me, which featured Monica, Bobby Brown, Johnny Gill, Faith Evans, and Ralph Tresvant. As the film was set around Christmas, she also recorded Joy to the World with the Georgia Mass Choir. Mervyn Warren also co-penned Who Would Imagine a King specifically for the soundtrack. For the non-traditional side, she recorded Step by Step in the UK, which was written by Annie Lennox and produced by Stephen Lipson. She also recorded You Were Loved, which was written by Diane Warren and produced by Babyface. My Heart Is Calling, which was written and produced by Babyface, and a cover of the Four Tops, I Believe in You and Me. Camera crews were present on the set specifically for scenes filmed with the Georgia Mass Choir and Whitney, who opted to sing live in the film as opposed to lip-syncing to her pre-recorded vocals, which was customary. The production of the film was not smooth, as snowstorms in New Jersey and New York shut the operation down for days on end.
On location in Newark, New Jersey, the cast and crew of The Preacher's Wife are hard at work, and at the helm of the production is director Penny Marshall.
Well, we're hopefully more than halfway through, and being in Newark has been great. This church has been great to us, and the people around, we've had no problems whatsoever, except when everyone's in the church, it's a little warm.
This heartwarming tale will inspire and entertain audiences with romance, good gospel music, and touching characters, played by some of Hollywood's most talented actors.
I play a character named Joe Hamilton, and Joe is he's like a Donald Trump-ish, Johnny Cochran-ish type of guy. He's very rich and very driven, and his main focus is making more money for his empire.
Well, Marguerite was a preacher's wife herself, and my husband died and left the parish to Julia and her husband, and now they have it, and it's Christmas, and I'm coming back for the holidays, and I'm not having any of it.
I'm sort of the daffy secretary that gets everything wrong and misplaces all of his notes. I'm the first one to see the angel played by Denzel Washington, so I get a chance to do a scene with him.
It's a family at Crossroads, a community at Crossroads. But since I'm the pastor of the community, it's kind of my problem trying to figure out where I'm going, where my family's going. We need some help. It's gotten to the point where both Julia, Whitney's character, and myself just say, I don't know how to do this anymore, I need some help. And of course the angel Dudley is there to come down and try to help us. And things get a little complicated from there.
A building in Yonkers, New York caught on fire as production was underway, causing a crew member to rush up a ladder to the building to save a 4-year-old child.
It was a brutal blaze that erupted last night at this Yonkers, New York apartment building. A frightening inferno, injuring 11 firefighters and tragically taking the lives of 2 young children.
I see the mother of the kids screaming, my kids, my kids.
We had fire in every window, fire in the back porches all the way from the basement to the top floor.
The building burst into flames right across the street from where Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington are filming The Preacher's Wife. Tonight, an unidentified member of the film crew is credited with saving the life of the brother of the 2 dead children. The rescuer reportedly raced up a ladder and plucked the distressed child from a window engulfed in flames. But some are now blaming the film crew for making it difficult for rescue workers to get to the scene.
Fire trucks had problems getting into this area. The hydrants were blocked by the trucks from the film crews.
Was the crew in the way, or were they heroes? Either way, the tragedy they're calling the Whitney fire will forever leave a painful mark on this close-knit community.
A crew member was killed in a car accident, and the crew had to navigate only shooting vocal performance scenes during the afternoon.
Whitney goes gospel, and we've got your exclusive sneak peek.
Gospel, with her mom handling the harmonies and the hard questions.
Did she want to go to church every Sunday?
It's her musical new movie, and we've got your very first look.
We're here in New Jersey, Whitney Houston's home turf, where she grew up singing in a gospel choir. Hallelujah, Whitney's returned to her roots, and there's no place like home.
We were the first television crew allowed on the set of The Preacher's Wife, where Whitney's homecoming includes harmonizing with her mom, gospel singer Whitney Houston.
She's never this close to home, never this close to me.
Just hold on. Whitney first tested those famous pipes in a choir run by her mom. So for Sissy, it's deja vu.
Did she want to go to church every Sunday?
Well, after a while she didn't, but she went anyway because I was the mother and she wasn't. It wasn't her choice.
Mama spoke. I know about that.
Sissy may call the shots at home, but director Penny Marshall's definitely in charge on the set.
Could you move back, Barry? Keep going back.
Denzel Washington co-stars with Whitney and plays the part of an angel sent down to save a struggling church. In the process, he turns Whitney's head.
Yeah, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning light.
With her co-star as an angel and both Penny and her real mom on the set, it seems Whitney is in the best of hands.
Do you give her a lot of advice?
Always. I'll give her advice until she does. Oh, I do.
Sissy almost played the part of Whitney's mom in the movie, but in the end, Sissy turned it down. She said she didn't want Whitney to hold back in some of the angrier shouting scenes.
Filming did not wrap until the spring or summer of 1996. By that point, Whitney was on the tail end of the Waiting to Excel era, as The Preacher's Wife entered post-production with an anticipated release date around Christmas 1996. About 6 months would lapse until the first single from the soundtrack was serviced to radio stations and retailers. In that time, she continued to make public appearances, such as this one at the BET's Second Walk of Fame, where she was honored as an inductee.
One dynamic woman, one star, and the BET Walk of Fame. What is Black entertainment television up to now? Let's take a look.
she can have.
Is it rolling?
What is all the commotion?
It's my pleasure and privilege to present to someone who is absolutely the very best that we have to offer in music worldwide, Whitney Houston, as the honoree for the Walk of Fame Award for this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Houston.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you. I like to write down everything I say so that I don't forget what I want to say. But to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, Deborah Lee, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, whenever someone takes the time to acknowledge my work, I feel honored. Tonight I feel particularly honored because the acknowledgement comes from Black Entertainment Television. Yes. An organization that grew, thank you, yeah, that's true. BET. An organization that grew from someone's seemingly impossible dreams. But I know, as Mr. and Mrs. Johnson knows, and I hope all of you know, that nothing, and I mean nothing, is impossible with God. I thoroughly believe it. He's worked for me. And so, as always, I first give honor to my Savior, who has been better to me than I've been to myself. And I thank God, I thank BET, and I thank all of you. I really do. God bless you, and thank you for this honor. Really, thank you. So this is like coming home to family and being honored by those that are part of you and your heritage. So it's very special. It really is.
But why establish a BET Walk of Fame? To recognize the many significant contributions of African-American artists to the entertainment industry. Or, as Kwesi Mfume put it,
well, I think the most significant thing is the fact that it is the larger community honoring the larger community and not waiting for someone else to do that.
And why was Miss Houston chosen? As an Arista Records recording artist, her first 4 albums reached global sales of over 86 million. She's received critical acclaim for her films The Bodyguard and Waiting to Exhale. Need we say more?
On November 26, 1996, nearly a year after the soundtrack was recorded, Arista released the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. It was hailed as the soundtrack event of the year in a 2-page ad in Billboard magazine. The trade magazine also ran an article about the soundtrack with a headline that read, Whitney Houston bridges gospel, pop, and an article that read, in part, with the soundtrack to Whitney Houston's new movie The Preacher's Wife, due to invade retail Tuesday, Arista is launching a complex multi-single campaign that is designed to illuminate the various musical styles showcased on the album. The singer's inspirational power ballad, I Believe in You and Me, started the ball rolling when it hit radio on November 20th, drawing instant raves from pop programmers. On its first day, the song received 151 spins on 82 radio stations, according to broadcast data systems. It has a can't-miss sound, says Eric Bradley, music director at WBBM Chicago. Nobody does this kind of record better than Whitney. Within 10 days of that cut's release, Arista plans to issue Somebody Bigger Than You and I, an all-star Jeep Funk jam that teams Houston with Bobby Brown, Faith Evans, Johnny Gill, Monica, and Ralph Tresvant. The UK and European single story also began to unfold. November 20th, with the onset of Step by Step, an up-tempo dance pop tune written by and featuring guest vocalist Annie Lennox. This project was especially close to my heart, Houston says. My beginnings are in gospel music. This is where I'm most comfortable. She and Davis are proud of the results. I look at this as a major musical event, David says. Very few albums showcase such a dazzling array of musical formats the way that this one does. I think Whitney, as well as everyone involved in making the music of this project, has done a remarkable job. Their review of the album reads, Pop diva Whitney Houston's latest soundtrack project, her third this decade, delivers on fans' expectations of R&B flavored pop perfection while venturing headlong into the world of gospel. In the pop, AC R&B realm, Highlights include peppy Ann Lennox cut Step by Step in the original version and Teddy Riley remix, lead-off ballad I Believe in You, and Somebody Bigger Than You and I featuring Bobby Brown, Faith Evans, Johnny Gill, Monica, and Ralph Tresvant. Among the album's most uplifting gospel tunes are Joy, I Go to the Rock, and I Love the Lord, all with the Georgia Mass Choir. An album that cements Houston's standing as a pop superstar and establishes a base in gospel, her birthright musical genre. Entertainment Weekly had this to say about the album. With The Preacher's Wife, Whitney Houston had an excuse to make the gospel album she's forever talked about, give or take a secular ballad or four. The result will instantly overtake Aretha Franklin's 1972 Amazing Grace as the biggest album of spirituals ever. The Lord is her bodyguard. Sales shall not want. Best among the non-gospel fare, Babyface's dance floor ballad, My Heart is Calling, explores Houston's sexy lower range against his characteristic bed of lush but near subliminal background vocals. Step by Step, a house throbber penned by Annie Lennox, represents an admirable departure but gets tripped up by a Paled Inspirations Are Us lyric and perhaps too much of its author's stamp. When Houston sings I Go to the Rock though, the swing starts in earnest, with sacred assist from Mervyn Warren, the Georgia Mass Choir, and a modest but funk-filled band. Plus, guests Shirley Caesar and Mama Sissy briefly provide earthier contrast to Whitney's coloratura. It's doubly nice that a super diva with bravura enough to have sold a noxious a lyric as the greatest love of all believes there's a higher love than self after all. The New York Times' Neil Strauss wrote, "What made Whitney Houston's version of I Will Always Love You from The Bodyguard such a hit was that she sang it as if it were a gospel hymn. On her latest soundtrack, she doesn't need to pretend. She mixes the sacred, belting modern and traditional gospel with the Georgia Mass Choir and the secular, performing songs written by Babyface and Annie Lennox into a great pop album. Although the first single, the standard Whitney Houston fare of I Believe in You and Me, is among the year's most virtuosic pop ballads, her vocals on I Love the Lord are breathtaking. And unlike other star tracks, this one features Miss Houston on every song except one, which is sung by her mother, Sissy. The ever so critical Rolling Stone gave the soundtrack 2 stars, which is better than the 1.5 they gave I'm Your Baby Tonight, and well on par with the 2 stars they gave the Bodyguard soundtrack. The Baltimore Times lamented that the gospel album lacked gospel fire, which, considering the Georgia Mass Choir is featured heavily on the album, leads me to believe that the reviewer must have listened to the wrong CD. That same month, she appeared at the 50th anniversary of Ebony magazine, and the event was aired on ABC.
Oprah kicked off the gala tribute to Ebony magazine, and the joint really started jumping when Whitney Houston premiered her new songs from her movie The Preacher's Wife. The groundbreaking African-American magazine founded by John H. Johnson chose Whitney to jumpstart the star-studded evening.
Ebony always knows kind of when I keep them in touch of what I'm doing and how everything is going, because they are my family. And he asked me to open the show with gospel. And it was just, the timing was perfect. And I thought, beautiful, you know, I'll do it, you know. Pregnant and all, I'll be here.
1937, as a child,
Bill Cosby paid tribute to Ebony's coverage of the civil rights movement, and Will Smith and Luther Vandross were among those celebrating the magazine's legacy.
That's the magazine we grew up seeing on our dentist table.
They have made a landmark as far as reporting what goes on in the African-American life for all these 50 years.
The 2-hour TV special, Celebrate the Dream, 50 Years of Ebony Magazine, will air Thanksgiving night on ABC. And tomorrow here on ET, I will share my own talk with Whitney Houston. She told me she is simply thrilled with her new life, with the new baby on the way, a new movie, and a new CD. The first song from Whitney Houston's new movie, The Preacher's Wife, is called I Believe in You and Me. And when I met up with Whitney and her husband Bobby Brown, one of the first things I found out was that they believe in each other. America's favorite family, the Nelsons.
Here we are.
How are you, love?
Fine. How are you, dear?
Doing great.
Good to see you.
Bobby, how are you, man? Nice to see you. Well, let's start with the best news, because this is very cool. You're pregnant?
Whitney's having a baby. Whitney's having a baby. Bobby, Whitney having a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how much you love kids, and
Yeah,
you
I
just
do.
must be beside yourself.
I am. You know, it was very funny because I thought, God, you know, and something's wrong. You know, something's right or wrong. I don't know what's happening here. I was recording and my voice just wouldn't rise, you know? It's like the estrogen had taken over at the progesterone level. So I went to the doctor and that old EPT said, woo!
It's blue!
It's blue! It's a plus!
That's great.
I did The Preacher's Wife and I didn't quite know what to expect, you know? Because I didn't know, like, all right, what am I going to do? What songs am I going to do? But somehow the songs just fell into my hands. Here I had 10 songs of great gospel, you know? And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna go in there. And man, I went in that studio. I was hoarse half the time because I was on the set for the most part in like 26 below zero weather.
Right,
and,
out on the
and then
skating
these,
rink.
you know, and all that madness. Your voice has, you know, it affects it. So I stayed really like raspy, so, but it came out great because gospel is a very hard-edged kind of music. You know, you gotta sing gospel. You can't be singing.
On December 9th, the film had its star-studded premiere at the Ziegfeld Theater in New York.
The VIP guest list included many of the film's key players and their supportive friends, most of whom were admittedly anxious to hear Denzel Washington match his singing talent with that of co-star Whitney Houston.
Does he sing? Does he? Really? Oh, a line. I've never heard D sing, so it should be quite interesting.
He has a gorgeous voice. You didn't know that? He really can sing. When he comes by, make him sing something.
Yeah. He shouldn't quit his day job.
Yeah, I wasn't raised in the church, so it was time to do a lot of homework and a lot of prayer and find my spiritual side. So I did that and very blessed. And the film was an excuse to rekindle my faith.
Oh, this is all very exciting. Come on, we were, you know, two of our biggest stars, the Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington. I'm getting you better than that.
I'm so happy to be a part of this. I got a chance to see the movie for the first time the other night. It is just exquisite. I mean, Jeremy, the baby that tells the story, is just exceptional, and it's a wonderful, uplifting movie. I had a good time. I think people are going to love it.
It was a lot of kidding around. You don't know Denzel, but this brother's crazy. You don't know Whitney, but the sister's crazy. You don't know any of these people, but they're crazy. They are crazy.
In a time where, you know, when people are kind of, you know, a little unsteady about their faith, it's a good time. It's right on time, because I believe in God.
It is an honor to be able to sing praises to the God I love and serve. So, you know, doing the film with such incredible people like Penny Marshall and Denzel and Courtney and Jennifer and Gregory and Loretta, it was just a thrill for me, really.
Tell me, what was it like playing an angel, and a silly angel at that?
A silly angel. A kind, loving, friendly angel who feels that it's important to make people laugh and make people feel good. And I feel good getting the opportunity to do that in a film. It's something new for me, and as you can see, I'm real happy about it.
The following evening, NBC aired a sit-down interview with Katie Couric in which she revealed that she was pregnant. It was later revealed that she suffered a miscarriage.
The youngest of three from a middle-class background, Whitney grew up singing in the choir here. Although her parents split up when she was a teen, they raised her with a strong sense of family and devotion to God. This girl from modest beginnings was recently paid $10 million for her new movie, The Preacher's Wife. In it, Sissy's influence is unmistakable.
How does she do it? Just show me a little bit.
That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. So.
In The Preacher's Wife, she got a lot of her mannerisms leading that choir from you. Did that tickle you?
Very much so.
But years ago, when Whitney told her that she wanted to be a singer, Sissy did not encourage her to follow in her footsteps.
I didn't want her in the music business because I knew what it was like, and it could build you up to tear you down.
You said it was a very lonely place.
But it is a lonely place. It's a lonely place to be in. You're misunderstood, you're misjudged, all kinds of things, you know.
You really couldn't keep her down when you heard that voice, could you?
I didn't really try. I just told her that if that what she wanted to do, then she had to learn how to do it properly.
Bobby Brown put under the microscope, her attitude constantly analyzed.
Yeah, when you see a child, in pain just through her eyes, or just the look on her face, And I'm ready to kill the world at that point, but you can't always do that. You have to piece it out, and I pray a lot.
Sometimes the church get up in me, I can't help myself,
Her voice spans 3 octaves and can certainly stand alone, but Whitney has always depended on her family for emotional backup.
You received a lot of praise in the early years, and you also took some hits. Either you were too sweet or too sultry, too white, too black, too demure, too demanding, too this, too that. How do you deal with that?
My mother told me, she said, nobody has the right to put any expectation over your head. If you get into it, then you will disappoint yourself mostly. And that hurts worse. She said, above all, to thine own self be true. You deal with it like that, and you give them the best you can, and Whitney, call it a day.
That same month, she appeared on the cover of Ebony magazine with copy that read, Whitney talks about the preacher's wife, Denzel, and the attacks on Bobby. The article read, in part, Julia, the lead character in The Preacher's Wife, is described as a loving wife and mom who sings like an angel. Miss Houston chuckles and smiles when she hears this description, for nobody can deny there are distinct similarities between the superstar singer and the character she portrays in the Touchstone movie. Julia and I are alike like that, Houston says in an interview at her home during a break from finalizing the movie soundtrack. Julia and I clicked right away. But she's more than just a loving mom and a wife. She cares about family values. She tries very, very hard to give back to the community. But she also gets angry. She gets ticked off. She's human. She has normal feelings, but she has to hold back because she and the preacher, must set standards. Julia, the preacher's wife and director of the church choir, is a role with which Houston feels very comfortable. It is a character that she says inspires her, and it is natural. The real-life songbird grew up in a Baptist church in New Jersey. I know the preacher's wife, she says, referring to various relatives and family friends. I've watched one for years. I have watched my aunts and my mother, who was the director of music at New Hope Baptist Church. It's about standards. The Preacher's Wife is different from the original version in that it's a little more down, a little more gritty. Houston says working with Washington was like working with an older brother because she felt so familiar with his flavor and character from watching his many movies. He's a gentleman, very funny, silly like me, she says. He was very easy to work with. He's an old pro. She tells of how Washington, who also has experience in the church as the son of a minister, often switched up lines and improvised, which would throw her off. When asked if the ongoing controversial media coverage Brown continues to attract has affected their marriage, she says, no, it hasn't put a strain on our marriage. If they haven't broken us up by now, they aren't going to do it. What God has put together, let no man put asunder. See, they think it's a joke. They try to make our lives into a soap opera, but it's not. It's for real. She also appeared on the cover of Upscale magazine with Courtney B. Vance and Denzel Washington. She spoke about the film's production, saying, when I come onto the set of this movie, it's very spiritual. She also praised her co-star, Denzel Washington, saying, you have to watch Denzel because it's all in his eyes and his movements and in the way he stands. He doesn't have to say a word. Charisma and charm exude from Denzel. He sincerely communicates. He is a pro. The cast was featured on the December 16th issue of Jet magazine, and the article read, in part, Whitney Houston teams up with Denzel Washington in the new heartwarming comedy The Preacher's Wife. Houston and Washington deliver stellar performances, demonstrating that they are, indeed, an acting team made in movie heaven. The illustrious cast also includes Courtney B. Vance, Jennifer Lewis, Loretta Devine, and Gregory Hines, and hit singer-composer Lionel Richie. Whitney said of the project, "It's very exciting to me. It allowed me to sing gospel music, the genre I love most. I've been waiting a long time to do something like this." Also, like Denzel, I believe in the film's theme that the church is the glue that holds the community together. That year, aside from the media's fascination with her marriage, she also had to deal with an unauthorized biography about her life written by a man who dated her former publicist.
Whitney Houston don't allow her parents to talk to her directly. There's a constant backstabbing going on.
Real-life ex-bodyguard is speaking out in a tell-all book. Bodyguard claims to have the inside story.
Her first film, The Bodyguard, scored so big at the box office. Well, as Janet Tamaro tells us, she may not be quite so happy when she reads what her own former bodyguard has to say about her.
The times I've been with Whitney Houston was some of the worst times in my life.
Kevin Amons is the co-author of Good Girl, Bad Girl, a book about the time he spent with Houston. Amons, an aspiring musician, says he met Houston in 1991.
She's surrounded by a cast of characters that have manipulated her and everybody else. You know, there's a constant backstabbing going on.
Amons says, contrary to the diva's squeaky clean public image, she's foul-mouthed and can throw a mean punch, too. Houston's success has gone to her head so much, he says she has taken to calling her entourage the royal family.
Whitney Houston don't allow her parents to talk to her directly, to call her. They have to go through Robin Crawford.
Robin Crawford is Houston's longtime friend and assistant. Since the day they met at camp as teenagers, they've been inseparable, and there has been published speculation about the nature of their relationship.
She spoke on this during her Ebony interview, saying, "It's trash. It's just a bunch of crap. I know him, but I haven't had any contact with him. We didn't talk, so how much could he know about me? I just hope he gets his money, because when you do ugly, it will come back to haunt you." Like clockwork, on December 10th, Arista released the first single from the soundtrack, I Believe in You and Me. Billboard magazine wrote, "The first peek into the soundtrack to The Preacher's Wife is a deliciously theatrical cover of a tune first recorded by David Peaston. As she did with Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You, Houston redefines the composition with a soaring, glass-shattering performance that will leave her legions of fans breathless. She finds a perfect musical counterpart in David Foster, whose signature flair for pop orchestral drama is tempered this time with a subtle, complementary gospel flavor. A wonderfully uplifting way to usher in the holiday season, this gem will be heard well into the new year. On December 13th, The Preacher's Wife was released theatrically in the United States. It opened at number 1 at the box office, grossing over $7.5 million during its first weekend in theaters. The following day, she appeared on SNL as a musical guest, performing I Believe in You and Me and I Go to the Rock.
Daytime talk diva Rosie O'Donnell is about to work through the midnight hour. She and pals Whitney Houston and Penny Marshall are taking over Saturday Night Live this weekend, and we caught them at rehearsal. Santa Rosie has lots of helpers for her Saturday Night Live hosting duties.
I got you, babe. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, director Penny Marshall.
First, Rosie's pal and Kmart pitch partner chimes in.
Hey, Penny, you look good. Where'd you get that outfit?
Where do you think?
Kmart. Oh, no.
And then special musical guest Whitney Houston gets in the holiday spirit to the beat of the SNL drum. The only glitch in the rehearsals was that Whitney and Penny are fighting the flu, but that didn't stop Whitney's 3-year-old Bobby from having a good time.
Please welcome the delightful Whitney Houston.
The flu also didn't stop Whitney from appearing on Rosie's own show this morning. In fact, she had a certain glow. That's because Whitney and husband Bobby Brown are expecting their second child.
Do you have a preference name-wise, or?
Well, you know, we've been talking about names and stuff, and Bobby comes up with all these very crazy names, like, you know, I like Jules, I like Renier, and I was like, those are horrible names.
Renier?
You know, just crazy things, and I go, no, that's no good.
Yeah.
We're not going that way.
You're always around.
The SNL cast loved having the star and director of the new movie The Preacher's Wife on the show, but they got a ton of comedic mileage out of having Rosie as guest host.
Rosie's fun. She's got great comedic timing. She's been a comic for a long time, and she's the best. All right, turn off the camera. I'll tell you what she's really like.
She slapped me once, but that was about it.
Whatever.
Tell you what, Whitney Houston is going to be everywhere you look this weekend. Saturday Night Live tomorrow on NBC, and then theaters coast to coast beginning today in her new movie, The Preacher's Wife.
A week after she performed on Saturday Night Live, it was reported she suffered her third miscarriage at her New Jersey home.
Yesterday, Whitney had a miscarriage in the 3rd month of her pregnancy. It was the singer's 2nd miscarriage in just 2.5 years. She is recovering today in her New Jersey home with Bobby at her side.
Just as Music Week predicted, I Believe in You and Me debuted on the Hot 100 at number 7 for the week ending December 28th. Somebody Bigger Than You and I was released as a promo single around this time per a review in the December 21st issue of Billboard, which read, "The pleasant assault of Houston and her delightful soundtrack to The Preacher's Wife on radio airwaves continues with the release of this lively all-star jam. She and co-producer Ricky Minor do a marvelously crafty job of coaching pure lyrical spirituality into a Jeep funk musical setting that kids can easily relate to. And while some of the potent performers surround the diva, none of them entice the listener away from her fluidly soulful delivery for longer than an occasional flashing moment. Evans and Brown in particular appear to spark Houston to a more playful vocal place than we've heard in a long time. Although it's tough to imagine any radio format not already slamming the primary single, I Believe in You and Me, this gem will warm the hearts of the 1 or 2 programmers who are not already offering wall-to-wall Whitney. Whitney promoted the hell, no pun intended, out The Preacher's Wife. BET, E, and VH1 all aired 30-minute specials dedicated to the film, and MTV aired a special edition of its series Jams in celebration of the release.
Yo, what's up? This is Monica, MTV Jam Special Edition, you know, the premiere party for The Preacher's Wife here at Roseland in New York City. And we've been showing all kind of videos from Whitney Houston the whole hour long, and there's all kind of celebrities here. And right here I have my friend Chris Rock.
Hey, what's up, Monica?
How you doing, baby? Let me just say you was dope at the Billboard Awards. You were funny the whole time.
Thank you
the
very,
whole
very
time.
much.
What did you think of the movie tonight?
I loved it. It was like a Christmas movie. It was like, you know, you got a little Denzel, you got a little Whitney singing. I wasn't mad at nobody.
Okay, the movie was dope to me too. Well, I guess we can kick it right into some more videos. We've been showing videos from Whitney the whole hour long.
The whole hour?
Yes,
Okay.
the whole hour.
This whole thing started about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. A woman that used to work for me now works for Whitney. Deborah Chase, she had an idea about doing, she always loved The Bishop's Wife. And at a certain point, the film really came together when we and I talked to Penny Marshall about directing it and talked to Whitney about being in it. That's when it really made sense to me as a film, and I could see it. And fortunately, Penny and Whitney were equally enthusiastic.
I originally didn't want to do it. I hadn't seen the original movie when I was asked, and I looked at it and I went, well. So I said no a lot of times. I mean, it's about time a movie is made that's not just dealing with, you know, crack and killing and all that kind of gangs and stuff. And this is a fable, so it had nothing to do with it. I mean, yes, the kid gets arrested by accident, you know, but that would happen. That's very natural. That happened.
One of the things I like is that it's a movie that a mass appeal to all people, not just African American community, but this could be anywhere. Is that?
Yes, it could be anywhere. It could be any color. It could be any religion. It doesn't matter. It was based on a picture that was made with all white people.
Right.
Yeah, so it just, you know, it was just, I think it should have appeal. And you could bring your mother and you could bring your kids. And I like to make movies that, you know, aren't X-ray.
Right.
I don't want to shoot a nude scene, okay? I'm always like this going,
No. And working on the set, coming to work every day, everyone said how special it was, and highly spiritual, with the gospel music going on all the time, breaking into song in between, things like that. And understand that one particular time the Holy Spirit just came in and took over. Penny couldn't, you know, you can't control it when the Holy Spirit is there. You just gotta let it.
Gotta let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Was that a release for just to be in that kind of?
It was.
was a release. It was, you know, I mean, we had been so well disciplined all that week in Georgia Mass. You know, they ain't used to singing and stopping and singing and stopping and getting a spirit and then let it go. You know, that's like, who you were trying to grasp word and you're like, come back, you know. So that was hard. But by the end of the week, I said, okay, today I'm gonna sing I Love the Lord, which is what we were filming. And I said, when you sing, if you feel it, let it go. Don't worry about it. Just, if the spirit comes and takes over you, just let it ride. And boy, we let loose in there, and Penny just kept saying, cut. I remember cut twice, and I didn't hear it anymore, because I was gone. When you call on the spirit, you know it's gonna come.
They sang for like a half an hour to lift the spirits of all the extras who were sitting there and to everyone there, and it just lifts your spirits. Because, I mean, it's a grind. You're working every day, getting up every morning, working late every night, you know, so you need sometimes a little distraction.
I Believe in You and Me reached its peak position of number 4 on the Hot 100 by February, her 16th top 5 pop hit. By then, The Preacher's Wife was no longer in most theaters. It grossed $45 million against an estimated budget of $55 million, which unfortunately means the movie flopped.
Today is a special day for Whitney Houston. We have the world premiere of her new music video from The Preacher's Wife called I Believe in You and Me.
The music video was filmed in New York, set in a frosty forest with numerous Christmas lights. Whitney appeared on the January issue of Premiere magazine in an interview that caught Houston at the tail end of recording My Heart Is Calling For You with Babyface. She spoke of her divadom, saying, I am not your average diva. When you think of diva Leontine Price, you think of greatness. When you think of diva Whitney Houston, Diana Ross, and Aretha Franklin, you think, oh, they're bitches. She laughs, then turns serious. Well, I'm not. I ain't no diva. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know how to say no. I know how to hire and fire very well. I've learned my craft, and I've learned it well. On February 24th, the second single was released domestically, entitled Step by Step. It'd already been released internationally by that point. The Baltimore Sun described the single as a slick, synth-driven number that recalls the 80s style sparkle of her early hits. They did listen to the right CD, after all. Billboard called it one of the album's shining moments, and Entertainment Weekly singled it out as a house throbber. The single, much like I Believe in You and Me, was huge internationally, peaking in the top 10 in Denmark, Germany, Scotland, Spain, Australia, the Czech Republic, while peaking in the top 20 in over 40 countries. In the United States, it debuted at number 22 on the pop charts and peaked at number 15 on the Hot 100 the following week. On February 26th, Whitney performed Count on Me with Brandy, Chaka Khan, Mary J. Blige, Aretha Franklin, and CeCe Winans. She also performed the Shoop Shoop song.
Sometimes it's wrong, and sometimes it's right. For everywhere. Shoot, do, shoot, 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 shoot. All you gotta do is say, shoot, 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 shoot. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord, say shoot, oh, shoot, baby, do. Say, count on. There's a place inside of all of us where our faith and love begins. You should reach inside
By March, Step by Step was a #3 hit on the dance charts. Whitney won a Dove Award for Outstanding Mainstream Contribution to Gospel Music, as well as an Essence Award, marking the first ever presentation of the Triumphant Spirit Award. She was said to have been too ill to attend the Essence Awards.
The woman we honor with the first Essence Triumphant Spirit Award has allowed her spirit to soar, and unfortunately so has her temperature. In fact, she's at home tonight in bed and is unable to join us. So Whitney, get well, baby, and enjoy the show. It's all for you. Since first being honored 7 years ago, Whitney Houston has become an empire, and she could have played it safe and remained in a comfort zone as a world-renowned musical performer. Instead, Whitney chose to challenge herself. She has a thriving film career, and she's launched her own record label and production company, all inspired by her love of music.
She always go in the basement, and, you know, I put the tape on for her, and she just stay down there for hours, singing with a microphone and all that kind of bit. I mean, to the top of her lungs. Her father used to say, "My God, can't you shut that kid up?" I said, "Shut up, one day she'll be someone."
Her spirit is large, and I think the camera is able to capture that. I think in the movies you've seen her in, you've been able to see and feel, you know, her personal power, you know, that part of her from God.
Whitney is a wife, a mother, a singer, an actress, has her own company, has her entire family around her that she helps, and they help her in return. And I think she can juggle all these things because her heart and soul are in the right place.
Whitney's also the guiding force behind both her music and management company, Nippy Incorporated.
People taught me to know what I was singing about and to be able to feel everything that you're singing. My mother always told me, you can't sing anything that you don't feel.
What she wants to do for what God has asked us all to do, you know, love thee one another as I has loved you. And I think that's one of her mottos, trying to keep her marriage and everybody and everything together. Is very much a part.
His phenomenal career has been capped by numerous awards, including 2 Emmys, 5 Grammys, 8 NAACP Image Awards, 19 American Music Awards, and 5 People's Choice and Soul Train Awards.
If young people look at my life and look at what I've done and say, wow, I can do that too, that's the kind of role model that I like to present. You know, whatever it is that you want, go for it.
I've cried, I've laughed, I've done it all. I feel so proud to be here this evening. Thank you, Quincy, first of all. To Patty, Cece, thanks loads. You were just marvelous words, could never express what I'm feeling right now. To the other honorees and invited guests, unfortunately, my daughter could not be here to accept this award, but she has asked me to make her sincerest apologies and to read to you what she would have said. To God be the glory. The Triumphant Spirit Award means a great deal to me because it honors me not only as a singer or an actress, but as a whole person. When I've sung my last song, when I've said my last line, when I've prayed my last prayer, what I want people to know about is that I cared and I really tried to make a difference. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Just as she'd done for every album up to this point, Whitney embarked on a tour, albeit small, of the Pacific Rim, or countries bordering the Pacific Ocean. She started in the US in Hawaii and ended in Japan from May 5th to the 29th. In June, Arista released the final commercial single from The Preacher's Wife soundtrack, entitled My Heart Is Calling, which was written and produced entirely by Babyface. That same month, Whitney began filming Cinderella, a project years in the making, which was initially to have had Houston herself playing the titular role. By the time she was reapproached with the idea in either 1995 or 1996, she felt more suited to play the fairy godmother role. Houston also served as an executive producer and handpicked singer-actress Brandy Norwood to be her Cinderella.
This is Entertainment Tonight, the most watched entertainment news program in the world.
It's a special Entertainment Tonight from the set of Cinderella.
Oh my God!
We've got glass slippers for Whitney Houston and this little princess herself, Brandy.
Bob, you're gonna love this movie.
I bet. From the dances to those dazzling duds, the music to the magic, we are there for every dash of fairy dust. Here on the fantasy set of the production of Cinderella. Now, you know the story. It's about a prince and a pumpkin and how dreams come true. This production is bringing together Whitney Houston and singing star Brandy, and of course a whole lot of Hollywood fairy dust. This timeless tale of glass slippers and true love waltzes in with the first Cinderella in braids and a sassy fairy godmother.
Oh my God!
E.T.'s footman followed every facet of this production, from the first look at the set.
This is so dope.
Through 6 weeks of filming.
That's a myth.
To the very last scene.
That's a wrap.
10 minutes ago, I met you.
The songs are the Rodgers and Hammerstein classics that Julie Andrews sang for the original TV Cinderella in 1957.
Impossible. Impossible. Impossible.
But the musical arrangements have been updated by legendary producer Arif Mardin and the creative team behind such Disney animated musicals as The Little Mermaid.
I've always dreamed to be some type of animated Disney character, and to be the first African-American Cinderella, that's history.
What's your name?
Cinderella.
With this production, Cinderella is finally a story for everyone. Brandy's prince is Paolo Montalban, Jason Alexander his faithful valet.
You don't know anything about her now.
Except that she's beautiful.
Whoopi Goldberg and Victor Garber are the queen and king. This rainbow cast has fairy godmother Whitney Houston to thank. She's also the executive producer. And for over 4 years, she's struggled to bring this multiracial approach to the screen. The families of Rodgers and Hammerstein are delighted.
Thank you for doing it.
Everybody knows Cinderella, basically. It's in every language. Why shouldn't every child from any country there is enjoy it?
Looks like little Moesha is growing up pretty good, isn't she? Well, it's going to all come together when Cinderella hits the air Sunday night on ABC. Jules, back to you.
Whose foot fits the fabled glass slipper? Let's get back to Bob Goen.
Back here on the set of Cinderella with those incredible sets and some fantastic songs. And for Brandy, well, being a princess means those dreamy dance numbers and those out-of-this-world clothes. Whitney Houston is radiant as the fairy godmother. And whether she's lowly Cinderella or the belle of the ball, Brandy is every inch a princess, even when she's racing around the set in Cinderella's wedding gown. Famed costume designer Ellen Mirajnik needed more than fairy dust to create these clothes.
We have satin, and we have pearls and diamonds and crystals. I've had to have someone behind me all the time.
Just how Ellen made those glass slippers is her secret, but she used every fabric imaginable for over 100 costumes.
This is raw silk, actually.
Whoopi Goldberg's gowns are made from antique Indian saris. Whitney's glowing dress is hand-sewn with metallic thread. And stepsister Vianne Cox got even more.
Your sister.
It's a fake butt.
Getting all these costumes to glide across the scene fell to choreographer Rob Marshall and to director Robert Isco. Brandy had never waltzed in her life, and that gown sure didn't help.
When I tried to dance it yesterday, I almost fell.
In the arms of my love, I'm flying over mountain and meadow and glen.
But even with those eye-popping costumes and flawless footwork, Iskov needed some Hollywood magic.
What possible is possible.
Computers filled in parts of Cinderella's coach, and after Whitney flew in front of one special effects wall and Brandy rode by another, they were spliced together. Fairy dust and fantasy background were added later.
It's a composite of about 25-30 layers for that shot.
It's impossible. Things are happening every day.
They are sparing no expense with the wardrobe or the elaborate dance numbers here. You could say that it is costing them a princely sum because the Hollywood rumor mill has it that Cinderella is one of the most expensive made-for-TV 2-hour movies ever made. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, it looks like a lavish production indeed. Old late line. Well, now let's see what Bob Gowen's stirring up at Cinderella.
Producer Whitney Houston has waved her magic wand and come up with an incredible list of co-stars for Cinderella. Take Queen Whoopi Goldberg and a princely Jason Alexander for starters.
And now, if you please, the crown de gris, some Paul de Soie with grills.
George Costanza never acts like this. And when did you ever hear Whoopi Goldberg warble?
Do you love her because she's wonderful?
And who is that charming prince? Well, to hear them talk, they're all primetime crusaders for family entertainment.
There are no explosions. There, you know, everyone has their clothes on. You know, it's
well,
hard to get. Well, I do implode.
Implode, that's right. I always get that confused.
Jason Alexander signed on as the prince's valet as a way of returning to his Broadway roots, and so his two children could watch some quality television.
I can tell you as a father, I can't find them. I search the tube all the time going, what can I sit down with these children and see?
You're not like most girls, are you?
What do you mean?
Nothing. I didn't mean to offend you.
24-year-old Paolo Montalban calls Broadway home as well. Plucked from The King and I, Paolo still can't believe that 30 million people could see Cinderella, his television debut.
Because you just don't believe it. Things like this just don't happen every day.
And for Oscar winner Whoopi, she returned to TV, hoping to get a new generation hooked on great American musicals.
For little kids who have never seen people just spontaneously burst into song and dance, with swelling music and fabulous costumes, it's a reintroduction for them.
He will need someone tonight. I can feel it in my bones. You'll feel it in your bones if he doesn't.
I think Whoopi Goldberg was a pretty good choice of casting. Not only does she look pretty regal down there in that tiara, but she also keeps things pretty light on the set. Jules, back to you.
Come back. Mr. Gowen goes one-on-one with Whitney.
You're executive producer.
Yeah,
So,
that's another job. I had 2 jobs on this thing.
I mean, are you really crunching numbers and sitting at the desk and...
No, I ain't doing all that stuff.
Whitney Houston, Cinderella's fairy godmother, sits down to talk about her producing, her princess, and finding her own glass slipper. That's next, right here. I mean, are you really crunching numbers and sitting at the desk and...
No, I ain't doing all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
I got the pull.
You can make the phone calls and get things done.
I got juice.
Yeah.
There's one tiny little thing before I forget. You must leave well before the clock strikes 12.
Whitney had once wanted to play the role of Cinderella herself, but opted for the fairy godmother and handpicked Brandy to step into the glass slippers. Did you make the phone call to Brandy?
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
All I can remember was, ah! You know, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mama, she wants me to play Cinderella.
And for white mice so easily turn to horses. Such quality roll and fiddle-dee-dee of courses.
You've done gospel and you've done it all, but this is show tunes. Is there anything different for that?
Well, I'm a musical buff. I love musicals. From a child, I've loved them. So this music to me was like a dream come true. I could actually sing my fantasy of being Julie Andrews or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wanted every child to see it. You know, I wanted parents to see it. I want old people to see it who can't get out.
Right.
To go into the movies.
Right.
Who don't have cable, you know. This is national television. Here it is.
Well, Jules, you know all of Whitney's projects are important to her, but you can tell this one is very, very close to her heart. And we can see all of her dreams come true Sunday night with Cinderella on ABC. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Bob. And it looks like fairy godmother Whitney's got a winner on her hands. But now let's get back to Bob Gowen and the glittering gala of Cinderella.
Of course, life on the set here isn't all glitz and glamour. I mean, Cinderella had to scrub all those floors, and her wicked stepfamily enjoyed having her do it, too.
What would you say to capture the prince? I don't know. Of course you don't.
No wonder Cinderella wanted to get out of the house. Her stepfamily is horrible, but very funny.
We hide our flaws until after the wedding.
Once in a while she has her moments of where she's just plain mean, but otherwise it's fun.
Bernadette Peters is the menacing matriarch. Natalie DeSalle and Deanne Cox are the stepsisters out to nab the prince.
Oh, if only he'd
he'd propose to me. I wish that he'd propose to me.
I like being the stepsister better than Cinderella. Because hers is a little hovel over there.
Drab.
I fell in love with love everlasting.
The Step family shares a show-stopping version of Falling in Love with Bernadette in the lead. But most of the time, they're just falling all over each other and the prince.
Your Highness, you simply must...
Bernadette is a show business veteran, but Cinderella is Natalie's biggest TV break. She promises that ABC will have some devoted viewers, her family in Alexandria, Louisiana.
Will they be watching? My mother's gonna make a gumbo and invite everybody over to watch.
I don't know, Jules. I don't know why everybody's complaining about the stepsisters. For my money, I like them, but that's just me. Back to you.
Well, gee, Bob, maybe we can get you scrubbing some floors. But now, from the magic of Cinderella, we move to the magic and mystery in a trilogy of shows to lead this weekend's E.T. Selects. We are out of time for this weekend, but before we go, we want to thank John Travolta, Dustin Hoffman, and all those involved in the making of Mad City. It's a good one, and remember to look for it in theaters on Friday. Now let's see if Bob Gowen's turned back into a pumpkin yet. Bob?
Okay, Julie, thanks a lot. That's right. The clock has struck 12 for us here on the set of Cinderella, so we have to go. But you can see all the magic Sunday night on ABC. In the meantime, we leave you with more magical moments from Whitney, Brandy, and that glorious ball called Cinderella. So long, everybody.
I feel so honored to be so young and to have this part. And whoever it is that has any control, I thank you, Whitney. Thank you, everybody, for giving me this part, giving me the opportunity. She called me one day all hype. I was like, what's going on, Whitney? And she's like, I got this project. Deborah and I have this project, and we want you to do this movie called Cinderella. We want you to play Cinderella. And I said, I thought you were going to be Cinderella. She's like, I'm 33 now. I'm not quite feeling like Cinderella. No, honey, I'm not going to be Cinderella. I want you to be Cinderella. And I started screaming. I ran around the house. I told my mom, I said, Mom, Whitney wants to be. She said it under one condition, that I was her fairy godmother.
Brandy's life was actually turning into a real Cinderella story. In fact, Whitney's been like a fairy godmother to Brandy ever since they met. Brandy had been a longtime fan of Whitney's, and it was the superstar who inspired her when she was just a little girl in Macomb, Mississippi, singing in her father's church.
I told my dad that I wanted to do this for a living. I wanted to be like Whitney Houston. She has often called me her mentor, which is flattering. She's standing. This is a very, very historical moment, though. For me. I'm standing next to you. I'm the fairy godmother, and that's kind of cool. Isn't that cool? I mean, yeah. I mean, you're the perfect Cinderella, and I'm your fairy godmother. I like this project because it consisted of a rainbow cast of people, Asian Americans, African Americans, Caucasian Americans, and, you know, it's never been done that way before. I wish I could go to the ball.
All the wishes in the world are poppycock and twaddle.
Who are you? I'm your fairy godmother, honey. She's my fairy godmother. I'm so excited.
Someone wants you. You know who.
Fairy godmother's sassy. She's honest, very direct, loving, very motherly. She's comforting. She's all the things that you'd want a godmother to be.
At last, the moment has arrived. And that moment is magic.
No, Brandy, come up. We gotta sing. She called me the night before and said, you gotta be ready, you gotta be ready. Okay, possibly. I was like, oh my God, what if I crack? She's a very sweet and innocent child. Do that note and go all the way back from the mic, and I'll come forward. Who just really needs encouragement to get to the next step. I just wanted to do it right. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. That is so cool. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible.
But the world is full of zanies and fools who don't believe in sensible rules and won't believe what sensible people say. Things are happening every day. Impossible, 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 impossible. Why are you down there?
In June, Whitney's former elementary school in East Orange, New Jersey, was renamed the Whitney E. Houston Academy of Creative Arts.
It's an overwhelming thing to think that I now have a school named after me and that I am probably more responsible, I think, for the minds and what goes into these souls here.
Side of dignity. It's like we have somebody special, somebody special coming to our school, somebody who cares.
What used to be the Franklin School is where the 33-year-old New Jersey girl spent her years from kindergarten through 5th grade.
I was pretty shy. I wasn't outgoing like my husband. I was quite quiet.
So what does it feel like to know your daughter's going to...
It feels wonderful. It makes me very proud. It makes me, it's a great milestone.
It's not an easy process to get a school renamed, but 5 years ago, the state's superintendent of schools decided it would be special to rename various schools in the East Orange area after famous African Americans. East Orange is 99% African American. With her family in the audience today, along with her 1st and 4th grade teachers, she reminisced, enjoying the ceremony in her honor. It was her old principal, who's still there, that spoke.
This is the greatest day in the history of the Whitney E. Houston Academy.
So what kind of role model does Whitney want to be?
I just wanted to know that I worked really hard, and that I stuck with it. And that there was a lot of laughter and there was some tears, and you go through it. The ups and downs. It's what living is all about.
Another ceremony will be held in the next few months in East Orange when a school is renamed after attorney Johnny Cochran.
Presumably after finishing her work on Cinderella, Whitney, her husband, brother, and sister-in-law embarked on a vacation in Capri, Italy, where she was bruised near her lip and cut 2 inches deep on her face in what was initially believed to be a swimming accident. When a member of her team alleged the incident occurred on a boat, speculation immediately began that Bobby Brown was to blame, and the police investigated.
Whitney returning from vacation with a gash on her face. Many wondered what was going on. Now the couple is granted its first magazine interview on the subject. What they're saying might sound familiar to extra viewers.
The media hasn't been very nice to either one of us. It is not me, Bobby, and the world. It is me and Bobby, and not the world.
The year was 1995, and Whitney Houston was talking to Extra about her reported rocky relationship with husband Bobby Brown. Now, in 1997, it seems her situation hasn't changed much. These photos taken in July show a shaken Houston, her hand holding a bandage covering a gash across her face. Whitney and Bobby were celebrating a second honeymoon in Italy when something went wrong. But what went wrong is the question.
When she got up from the table from having lunch, that she and the boat didn't meet one another, and she slipped and her hand pulled down the tablecloth. The place went flying. She got cut across her face.
Jamie Foster Brown of Sister to Sister magazine conducted the first interview with the couple since the summer incident, where Whitney made one thing crystal clear.
The more you try to come and attack me, the more I'm with this person you're trying to attack.
But this isn't the first incident or questions concerning their relationship. In June of this year, Bobby was accused of slapping Whitney outside of a mall in Honolulu, Hawaii. And last winter, there were reports that Bobby kicked Whitney and their 3-year-old daughter, Bobby Christina, off a tour bus and made them walk. Allegations both Whitney and Bobby deny. In the magazine, Bobby's exact words are, quote, "As a man, to put my hands on a woman, that ain't being a man." And in an attempt to stop the so-called rumors, Whitney had this to say, "I'm in love with him, and he's in love with me, and ain't no funny stuff going on, and I wish they would stop."
On August 25th, she performed at the opening and dedication ceremony of Arthur Ashe Stadium.
The opening of the Arthur Ashe Stadium. This is incredible.
and this incredible reunion of champions. Like Arthur, each of you had your moment in time. So tonight, I would like to dedicate this song to all of you.
On October 3rd and 5th, Whitney performed at the Dar Constitution Hall in commemoration of Marian Anderson's centennial, who the Daughters of the American Revolution banned before she gave her legendary Lincoln Memorial performance. The second date was live broadcast.
It feels very, very special to me that I would be doing a concert 60 years after Marian Anderson was denied to sing in the hall itself. I mean, it's just amazing how far we've come.
Houston has come a long way in her efforts to help kids. The Whitney Houston Foundation for Children will donate proceeds from ticket sales to the Children's Defense Fund.
What I do in my career, I tried to direct toward the kids.
Whitney's own kid, daughter Bobby Christina, wasn't around today, but husband Bobby Brown certainly was, and Whitney says her family will be involved Sunday night.
There are surprises, but you have to watch the show to see.
The second date was live broadcast by HBO and, of course, heavily promoted.
I was exposed to a lot of different music. I had to follow. It was Aretha, it was Dion, it was Gladys. A place I have to go. I can remember going into the studio at the age of 5 with my mother and going to an Aretha Franklin session. No one told me. Hearing her record Ain't No Way. It was kind of cool, you know. Just how to get there. By 11, I had my first solo in church. That's probably my first performance and probably my most critical. But when I get there, I know. I still get the feeling of excitement, the feeling of pride. Because I'm taking it.
Classic Whitney. Live from Washington, D.C.
In early November, Cinderella received a star-studded premiere, and E.T., of course, was there. The telecast of the film drew over 60 million viewers, making it the most-watched program of November 2nd and ABC's most-watched Sunday night program in over a decade.
Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
nervous.
Are you nervous?
I'm
When you
nervous.
watch
She's
your baby
excited.
up there, you get nervous, don't you?
always. It's better than any royal ball. It's the premiere and party for Cinderella. Magic was in the air as Hollywood fell under Cinderella's spell. And Whitney Houston's wish was to share the musical with husband Bobby Brown and their 4-year-old daughter.
She's Cinderella.
She's Cinderella, yes.
Oh my God!
That other Cinderella was a little excited too. Brandy was beaming as she made a grand entrance with Prince Charming, Paolo Montalban, at her side.
The greatest moment in my whole life. I'm just trying to not cry right now. And you guys are here, and I watch you on TV. I'm so excited.
Possible things are happening every day.
Brandy leads a star-packed cast that includes Jason Alexander.
I want to see that pumpkin turn into a carriage.
And Whoopi Goldberg as the Queen.
Do you love her because she's wonderful?
You're singing a song in this.
Just like that much. Because they got
small
Whitney.
song.
They
Well,
figured
yeah.
if I didn't have it, Whitney would do it and clean it up.
After the movie, the celebration continued at a party fit for a princess. And the audience's reaction should make these leading ladies live happily ever after.
How you feel, honey? I feel fabulous. I feel fabulous. Whitney, Brandy, and all the other stars will be partying way past midnight.
Because unlike the people in the book, the famous people at this ball don't have to worry about turning into pumpkins.
E.T.'s Leonard Maltin is having a ball as well. Right now, he's across town and having a devil of a time.
Thanks, Julie and Bob. Well, as you can see,
More than just a working relationship.
Over the years, it's been like, sometimes I'm an older sister, sometimes I'm like a mother, sometimes I'm a friend, you know what I'm saying? There are different phases and different, times that she and I have, but we're friends.
It's the wonderful world of Whitney tonight, and for this special premiere, she brought along her husband and her little girl, Bobby Christina, who was part of the inspiration for this project.
Her eyes sparkle. Yeah. They light up with imagination and with dreams that she makes come true.
Co-stars Jason Alexander and Whoopi Goldberg also helped Whitney's dreams come true. They lent their star power to Houston's first project that she executive produced. Bobby, how proud of her are you?
I couldn't even explain it in words.
He's a sweet
I couldn't
man.
explain it in words. No, I'm very proud. Very, extremely.
I couldn't have done it without him.
How soon before we see the two of you do something together?
Real soon.
Real soon.
Real soon.
Real soon.
Yeah.
Maybe another baby.
Oh.
Real soon.
I'm looking forward to that.
On Baby Watch with Whitney and Bobby, Amy Powell, Access Hollywood.
And good to be on Baby Watch. Cinderella is about dreams of children. Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella will air as part of the Wonderful World of Disney, November 2nd on ABC.
Boy hasn't thought about growing up to be just like Prince Charming. If you can't come up with any names, think of those as rhetorical questions. Thanks to Whitney Houston, however, the timeless story of Cinderella lives on in a new television movie, and Brandy is the lucky girl who finds that the glass slipper was made just for her.
In true fairy tale fashion, a horse-drawn carriage brought Brandy and co-star Paulo Montalban to the premiere of their new movie, Cinderella.
I'm excited now. I'm so nervous right now.
But if she was nervous, she had plenty of support as some of Hollywood's biggest names were on hand to see the remake of this classic story.
Really nice to see a very colorful fairy tale tonight with wonderful music.
To bring it back and have somebody like Whitney Houston and Brandy involved. Now you get to reach, like you said, a whole nother generation, but with stars that they know.
What's your name?
Cinderella.
We are truly the classic couple.
I know.
One of the best couples in the world.
And I'm so happy to be standing next to him. Who are you? I'm your fairy godmother, honey. You? You got a problem with that? I love the cape. The cape, I love working the cape.
In addition to playing the fairy godmother, Whitney executive produced the project that was 4 years in the making.
I think that we bring a television back that families can watch, you know, stories that families can sit down and watch together.
And watch for Jason Alexander as Lionel, the prince's valet. It's a new character created just for this production.
Well, I'm frankly looking for the sequel to be pretty much about me. Cinderella is the first part, and then the epilogue is called Lionel, and it's pretty much a musical.
I have found her.
I have found her.
The cast of this version of Cinderella is as diverse as the many languages the story has now been translated into.
You can reach a broader audience by being so much of a mixture of cultures and of different nationalities.
And what could Brandy possibly do to top playing the most celebrated fairy tale princess?
A feature? I don't know.
You're gonna be huge.
No, you're gonna be huge.
Maybe Whitney huge.
Cinderella waltzes into living rooms on November 2nd as part of the Wonderful World of Disney on ABC.
The heaviest rains from El Nino are expected between January and March, when dozens of movies and TV shows will be in production. Lauren?
Now, the threat of El Nino didn't keep Cinderella and her fella from having a ball Monday night. Brandy and Paulo Montalban arrived appropriately by carriage for the premiere of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, which airs on ABC November 2nd. Co-star Whitney Houston came with her Prince Charming, hubby Bobby Brown, and their little princess. Jason Alexander and Whoopi Goldberg were there, and Brandy told us she dreams of one day having her own fairy tale romance.
I think one day I will meet my Prince Charming. I mean, you go through guys, you date a lot, and I haven't done that, but you date and all that stuff, and you still don't find the right person, but one day I think I will.
When I was doing it, getting it together with the other producers, and we were really trying hard to get it together, I would see her eyes just light up, you know, and she'd see little spurts of little things we're doing, or hear songs we're doing, and that made it all worthwhile, you know.
Keep abreast of this strange universe.
Do you think we all have fairy godmothers or guardian angels who watch over us and help make our dreams come true?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I think we can be real people and help each other, too.
She made headlines after canceling a performance at Korean Reverend Sun Myung Moon's wedding the day of due to a sudden illness. That same month, just 45 minutes before she was scheduled to appear on the Rosie O'Donnell show, Whitney called and claimed she wasn't feeling well and couldn't make it.
Entertainers, Whitney Houston and Rosie O'Donnell. What's going on here? Well, Les Trent is in the know.
When Whitney Houston canceled her appearance on Rosie O'Donnell's talk show at the last minute, it turned into a celebrity catfight. The talk show queen versus America's First Lady of Song. With just 45 minutes to air, a phone call came into the show. entertainment reporter Flo Anthony.
Whitney's excuse was that she just was not feeling well.
The show went on without Whitney, but not without Rosie blasting the absent singing star at every opportunity.
She's ill.
Oh, shoot.
I hope she's very ill.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I want her to be sick, but I hope she's really got a fever.
I'm with you.
Then, adding insult to injury, when Whitney's husband Bobby Brown appeared on the David Letterman show later that same afternoon, Whitney was suddenly well enough to accompany him. It was seen as a huge snub to Rosie O'Donnell.
In January 1998, Whitney won Favorite Musical Performer at the People's Choice Awards. She also won the Pinnacle Award at the Trumpet Awards.
The recipient of tonight's Pinnacle Award was born with a heart of gold and the voice of an angel. She is none other than Ms. Whitney Houston.
Her music career began at the age of 7, singing in the choir of New Hope Baptist Church in Newark. By the time Whitney reached her mid-teens, she was appearing in local nightclubs and singing backup for Lou Rawls and Chaka Khan. In 1985, Whitney recorded her debut album, Whitney Houston. It became the biggest selling album by a solo artist. Her follow-up album, Whitney, hit the charts at #1 and enjoyed 7 consecutive #1 hits.
Houston is also equally sensational behind the scenes. The Whitney Houston Foundation for Children addresses a number of issues, from homelessness and AIDS affliction to self-empowerment programs. Ladies and gentlemen, a woman whose soul is her trumpet, Ms. Whitney Houston. Whitney, on behalf of AC Delco, we'd like to present a check to the Whitney Houston Children's Foundation in the sum of $5,000 for all the fine work that that organization has done for our youth.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm fine. I'm doing good. First, as always, giving all praises to the Almighty God, from whom all my blessings flow. Thank you, Ted Turner, Gerald Levin, Dick Parsons, and Zenona Clayton. Thank you. I pray I've helped to make a difference. God bless you all, and thank you so much.
The following month, the Soul Train Music Awards presented her with the Quincy Jones Award for Outstanding Career Achievement.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank all of you, really. Okay, all right. I don't have much time up here, so I'm gonna make this quick, brief, and sweet. First and always first, giving honor to my Heavenly Father, my Lord and Savior Jesus, from whom all my blessings flow. Yes. A career cannot be achieved without those who help you along the way, really. Mr. Jones, I love you for setting the path for so many of us to achieve careers. We thank you so much, really. To my mom and daddy for starting me off. Golly. I just want to say hi to my baby girl at home, Bobby Chris. I love you very much. I have to thank my baby's daddy, Bobby, for being my... being my love, my partner, my support, my best friend. I love you, baby. Robin, I know you put this together. I thank you so much. You're the best, kid. I love you. Oh, so many of you. I thank you so much. Wow. Arista Records, Clive Davis, Roy Lott. God, Whoopi, I thank you. You are the best queen in Cinderella. Wasn't she? She was the best. What, you see Cinderella? Yeah. I can count
after completing a European tour in 1998 with another, albeit less profitable, but culturally significant film and a multi-platinum soundtrack, as well as a successful TV movie. In August, Sissy's Baby began work on her first non-soundtrack project since 1991. With her marriage troubles seemingly resolved despite speculation, and having just released the best-selling gospel album ever, it seemed that Whitney Houston was once again every woman, when in reality she was a singular singing and privately struggling soul.
Okay, beautiful. Love that song.
Do you think you might want to be a singer when you grow up? No?
Oh, you're shy. You always tell me you do.
What would you like to be when you grow up?
Apparently, Bobby Christina feels the same way her mom does about pesky reporters. And she's inherited a few things from her dad, too.
She does a mean little gyration, baby, like her father. She scares me. That's a thrusting. That we try to control around here, you know. My mother goes, she's moving a little too much. And there's no music.
If she came up to you when she's about 11 or 12 and says, Mommy, I want to be a singer.
I would jump out my skin like my mother did. I would. Because I know the ins and outs of this business, and it's not very nice.
You sound a little bitter about the whole world of show business. Or maybe bitter isn't the right word. Disenchanted.
I'm not by no means bitter. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I just know the realities of the business, and not everybody's your friend.
Although she can still belt it out with unbridled joy, Whitney Houston is now older, wiser, and in some ways a little sadder, and leaning a little harder on the people she loves the most.
I know I'm news today, not news tomorrow, you know? I can deal with it, but it's Mom and Dad that stay constant, and my brothers and my husband and my children. That's what matters to me.